Right, everybody, it gives me great pleasure to introduce you to Dr. Lineo Kolobe. Right, so Dr. Lineo is a distinguished educational leader, currently serving as a principal, head teacher at Citibank Primary School under the Gauteng Department of Education. With over 13 years of dedicated service in this role, Dr. Kolobe has been a transformative force in the field of education, demonstrating a profound commitment to enhancing the academic and personal growth of her students. Dr. Kolobe's career in education began long before her tenure as a principal. Prior to assuming her current role, she served as the HIV/AIDS program coordinator, where she was responsible for the peer education program support, monitoring, and evaluation. This position allowed her to develop and implement crucial educational initiatives, focusing on health education and the well-being of students, which significantly contributed to her holistic approach to education. And today, she is going to give us a talk or a conversation, as you will, on data-driven decision-making, the strategies and best practices. Please, let's give Dr. Lineo a big hand.
Dumelang, how are you? I'm good. I'm Lineo Kolobe. In a week's time, I'll no longer be a principal of Citibank Primary School. Yes, I'll be moving to head office. The last 2 weeks have been, that time where God says, I'll open all doors. I've also been approached to be a face of NECT. People who are in an education sphere, you'll know what is NECT. And also a part-time lecturer for Rosebank College. Wow. So, it has been a shame. So the kids don't know, they'll know on Monday. And I have two good friends of mine, women who really, really, really had serious contribution in my life. I'm forever grateful to them. Mphahle Sophie, she's a wealth of knowledge. She literally took my CV to a school where I am now. And she pushed to say, go back to education and stop with this shell things of yours. And Memtabu, when I got there, she held my hand and made it happen. So short, because my presentation is very short, I'm going to start it this way. And at 33, I was a principal. So if you're sitting here and you're 30, I'm going to say to you, jump the queue when an opportunity presents itself. Don't wait. Do not wait. It's possible. So if you're sitting here and you're thinking I'm an HOD, test the waters, apply for anything, the doors will open. Don't wait to follow the norm and study while at it. Be the highest qualified in the room. It's good to have a PhD, but it's not an easy journey to get there. All right, this is not very clear, but I am going to speak from an angle where I know some schools do not use SSMs. They use other methods of data collection. But I am going to speak from a point where I say, how do we use data effectively to manage any school setup? Are our decisions influenced by concrete facts or by our emotions, as it was said earlier? Technology. It's not moving. Okay, at Citibank Primary School, we use data to improve learner performance and achievement, to analyze test scores, grades, and other assessment results, to identify trends, strengths, and areas for improvement, to analyze attendance and behavior, monitoring attendance, punctuality, and behavior incidents, to understand the trust factors affecting learner engagement and learning. I'll explain that.
Primary school is a school based in one of the oldest townships in Lisa. We pride ourselves when it comes to academic achievement. We do things the same way. We learn from one another. Our learners mostly come from disadvantaged backgrounds. It's a safe haven for the kids. It's their happy place. We unleash the most potential out of our learners. Studying using data-driven district program since 2016 in terms of running the school. It offers informed decision-making that is data-driven. It gives the school curriculum performance for each learner and each grade. It also gives input on educator attendance, learner attendance, reflects learners who are in danger of being at the borderline in terms of curriculum achievement. It brings all the important aspects of teaching and learning together under one umbrella. Numbers talk. Before, we were doing things by line, we were writing down. But now, I can just play and see the child write the book. It gives you a teacher to know your children. Learners who are not doing well, the dashboard will help you to keep up with learners. So that's what we get. A deeper analysis that makes us be able to find solutions. The learners benefit from this program. See the learners' faces, to experience their curious humility in life. It's my happy place. It's home for me.
So that home ends very soon. The importance of data-informed decisions. An inquiring school culture is an improving school culture, one which is grounded in data-informed practices. Mindset rests in the hands of SMTs. The creation of a data culture of inquiry is a direct result of a leadership vision for data use, which should strike a balance between inquiry and reflective instructional practice and meeting the employer's goal of monitoring compliance and accountability. I'll explain further that. Effective teaching and learning and managing curriculum can never be stagnant, meaning effective curriculum management and delivery needs ongoing, trustworthy data to inform one on how to design and redesign educator pedagogies. This is what I'm going to say. I'm going to tell you a story. At some point at the school, a gentleman walks at school. He's in his 45s, somewhere there. And he says, I have lost my ID or it has been cancelled. And Home Affairs wants evidence that I once attended school at CDBM Primary School. And the question was, 45, it means you were at school about 30 years ago. And here is the question for principals from township schools. Do we have records of data from 30 years ago to prove that an individual was actually at that school? We don't. Then how do we solve that gap? SSMs came into picture, and now at least we can save our data into cloud, right? But what happens to those that were there 30 or more years ago? Okay. SSMs, we are saying, is the golden source. One of the things that we realized or we recognized is, as a manager, if you input wrong data on your source document, the output or your decisions are going to be informed by wrong data. One of the things that you need to look first as a principal is If your educator or learner attendance is at 100%, you know it's malicious compliance.
Yes.
There is no way learner performance will be at 100%. What you know is your administrators, all they did was click, submit, done.
Yes.
Like what? So those are little things that you look, you don't have to really understand it so much, but those are the little things you look into to see that you have clean data so that you can make quite well-informed decisions. Then from there, your data is now being uploaded into Value Structure, where now Triple D will develop it into trends and segments for us principals or managers to understand the trends. So what is coming now through NECT is they are bringing in the modernized SSMs. That is going to, at the back end of it, is going to give us what Triple D also gives us. So, and also the fun part about this new version that is coming is also the transfers. You know the transfers between the schools where a child gets to a new school and you have to request the transfer from another school. Yes. Now, by a click of a button, you will be able to get a transfer. They are even going as far as to say, can we also even action transfer of educators through that? But it's still at the very developmental stages. Once it is in action, Gauteng will be the first to be trained on such. So why I use data to inform my decisions? Colleagues, it is functional. It is user-friendly. I can view the school from anywhere. Let us say it is now where projects are coming in. As a principal, you want to see as to how far are we. Will I meet the submission date for my schedules and reports? You go and you check your term to date, and you're going to see that according to the assessment plans, A, B, C, D should have already been captured, but it is not as yet captured. You don't have to go and ask the deputy, the HOD, and you can, by the time you call your people, you already have a clear picture of what is happening, who is behind, and you can also even like work ahead, plan ahead to say, colleagues, I don't think we'll be able to meet the deadlines by looking at what has already been captured so far, wherever you are. The dashboard provides all the information required in a consolidated package for the entire school by just a click of a button. You don't have to go from teacher A, B, C to look for information. It is also consolidated into one tool. It informs budget and resources. Some schools, since the start of digital phonetics at our school, now we question, has the language attainment improved? If it has, can we move the program to the next grade? If it hasn't, what else can we bring into the picture? Who then supports your decision? Quality data. Do you see that? Do we need to strengthen mathematics resources? Why should we do that? We are looking at grade 4 mathematics results. It looks like, we are not getting it right. When we check 3-year program for teacher X, things don't look really good. Instead of going up, the trend is going down. Now, we said we reallocate. And when you come to a teacher to say we are reallocating, somebody was saying, especially for high schools, for matrics who want to go into marking, that can work as a tool for you to say, ma'am, how do you go for marking when your subject is performing like this? And I can actually say, for the last 3 years, you've been giving us 30%. How do we make you teach grade 12 when you've been giving us this results for the last 3 or 5 years? So it doesn't come from emotions, it comes from actual facts. Okay, features that impact my world as a principal. It gives a comparative analysis of academic performance for each learner. You can actually see that this learner, I'm going to tell you a very sad story. There was a boy who was in grade 7 a few years ago. And all of a sudden, every teacher complains about this child. And when you check his strengths, the numbers are now, the graph is going down. How did we in fact it was late coming. absenteeism, but we could not pick them on time. What we picked on time was his results. You know how teachers we are. Everybody would scream at him, you're going to fail, you have changed, you're in your teen years, you know. And one teacher said, let me sit him down and find where the problem is. And this boy says, ma'am, come with me home after school. They go home. This boy, he's 13, looking after his dad, who's bedridden. So he says, some days I sit outside by the door just to sense that he's still breathing. Because I worry that if I go to school, I might find him asleep and not be able to wake up. Do you see what I mean? And unfortunately, the dad passed on a week or so ago. But we stepped in. We assisted through social workers and now I think he's doing his second or third year at Lloyd University of Mpumalanga. It flags borderline learners for immediate intervention. Remember, half the time we concentrate on learners who are failing. We do not see your level 3s and 4s to say, one wrong move, these learners are going to fall into the failing side. So the use of data will be able to flag easily to say, you have majority of your learners borderline for the subject. If you don't put in support on time, especially for your exam terms, you're in trouble with the subject. It flags content problematic areas such as exam versus SBA. You know, term 1, they will get your 90% because it's school-based assessment. Term 2, the graph goes down. Then you question your quality of question papers at schools. Then you ask yourself to say, is it because my teachers or the teachers in the school cannot set a quality question paper that is equally in terms of difficulty index with the one that was set as a common paper? Then you put in development to your teachers to say, we are going to go for training on how to set quality question papers for languages, quality question papers for mathematics. How do you get that? The data trends will tell you. I'm still talking about features that impact my world. Socioeconomic challenges are identified and resolved. I've already given you scenarios where practically data was used. Extended absenteeism of certain learners over age cohort. If you check your learners, we have those learners that, I don't know if it happens at only township schools. You find an 11-year-old who's never been to school. And you don't know, you cannot say, go back. I promise you there'll be a toy the following day at the gate because that will be community coming for you. And those kids, the question is, do I place this learner at grade 1? I'm going to ask principals, where do you place this learner? 11 years old. Yes. So he's going to finish at how old? No, grade 1, 11 years. 7 years plus. So by 18 years, we grade 7. So high school, we are at 19. Let me tell you, do you know how much we scared of older kids as primary school teachers? We don't want to deal with a 15-year-old. We are like, you're high school material. So primary school teachers, we get into trouble half the time because of older kids. So, and you know that overage learners already, in terms of age cohort, you have to input support, same time. You have to include SBST, same time. Because if that child is even a bit slow, you're in trouble. It's going to be pushed and pushed until he gets to grade 8 and he cannot read and write. So what do high schools say to us? Primary schools do not teach, right? And they have forgotten the brilliant ones that we also brought. They only concentrate on the 5% that cannot read and write. I got you today. It highlights at-risk learners failing 2 or more subjects. With primary it's a bit better. High school, when you fail 2 or more subjects, what happens? Do you pass? You fail already. So as a matric, you are in the SMT, you check your matric results, and there are these learners who are failing 2 or more subjects. You know those kids are going to fail. you know definitely those kids are going to fail. So it already tells you that you have a problem. You have to go to the teachers and you have to say, let us reinforce support. And half the time, because, let me say this, because we are different teachers, we cannot come together and consolidate our marks. This program or data has already consolidated them for you, so that when you approach your your staff, as in your team, as an HOD, you're able to say, colleagues, in languages, we have a problem. Or in this, as grade 9, we have a problem of high failure rate. Because when you look at all the 7 subjects, we have kids who are failing 2 or more subjects. So failure rate at this year is going to be very high. You can only get that if you have programs like this. Why I use the dashboard? We can preempt the performance trends of each subject. It offers early detection of poor performance. Section 58B analysis becomes possible. I'm laughing at some of my friends because we know that journey. What it says is, one of the things we did not see coming was the gap that was brought in by COVID. The schools that fell in the trap of being Section 58B this year, when you track backwards 3 years ago, which you will get from Triple D, check these kids were in grade 4, others were in grade 3. Check how they performed. They performed at level 3, in most of the subjects that are passed by level 3. And they performed at level 4 for languages. There was streamed curriculum, there was less time for school. And these kids in 2021, they moved to grade 5, right? Or grade 4. 2022, they're in grade 5. 2023, they are grade 6. When they get to grade 5, 2022, that's when things were coming back to normal. Back to full curriculum. The gaps that were experienced in grade 4, did the teacher in grade 5 cover them? No. When they get to grade 6, now the level is higher, where we are judged as primary school principals. They have gaps coming back from 2021 that the next teacher did not communicate, that the teacher did not see, and now the results are clearly seen 3 years later. Because we did not track backwards, we always track forward.